Hey Bubble family, welcome back to the channel. So as always, I will put a timestamp here if you want to skip the waffle. And somebody put something in the comments asking, and I did answer them, but just in case they missed it, somebody said, I guess because this is kind of I don't know, is it an English, a British term? I don't know. Just knock something off. So in the fact that what does waffle mean? Now, obviously, we're not talking about the waffles that you put your varied fruit on, or that would be strange. Even though I do like them, we are talking about what I'm doing now. I'm just waffling, where basically I just talk about trivial things for a while. That not really meaning anything as such, and some people are just kind of like, what are you talking about? That is waffle. So that is what I do in the beginning, where I put the timestamp and go, if you want to skip that, go to the timestamp. So yes, so thank you to everyone yesterday who enjoyed the video. Thank you to the people who complimented my hair. The reason my hair was looking, I guess, super lovely yesterday is because I just had it done by the hairdresser, my lovely hairdresser. And she does an amazing job, and I am really loving this colour. So I think I'm going to keep this colour all the time I can get away with it, and my pesky greys don't take over. So yes. So thank you to all the lovely comments about it, and also the lovely comments on my glasses. Now, I know a lot of people have said, where have you got your glasses from? And do you know what? I don't normally buy stuff on, like, when you see these adverts on Facebook, but I got drawn in and sucked in, and I saw these glasses and I was like, I really like those. So I bought them, and this is a while back, and I hadn't worn them. And then I found them and I was like, oh, I'm going to start wearing those. And I've had so many people comment on them. And so I was like, and they're like, where did you get them from? And I'm like, I actually can't remember. But someone has actually found them on Amazon. And I think they are called Diamond. I will put it in the description box. And they're not super expensive. As long as you know, I guess, what type you need, like what, like, I don't know, 1 point something or 2 point something, you can buy them there. So there you go. So thank you to my lovely subscriber who found them and is able to tell me that, so I can tell you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Harry and Meghan. Let's go back to Harry and Meghan, because why not? Because they are just the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm going to be talking about Harry and Meghan. Now, I know that a few of you have asked me to do various other videos, and I'm going to be doing those. But just at the moment, with everything that's going on, I feel like it's important to talk about the various bandwagons that they jump on and why they do this. So if you are interested in this and you want to know a little bit more, you know what to do. Grab your drink of choice. And again, I have not used my bubble mug because I don't want to always be advertising my bubble mug, but you know, I probably should. But so I've nabbed my son, 16 the man, mug with coffee. So grab your drink of choice, whether it be tea, coffee, water, juice, iced tea even, because I know you Americans love your iced tea, or whether you would like a nice Pimm's with the fruit in, whether you are having a glass of red with your lunch perhaps, or your dinner, because it is 5 o'clock somewhere. So grab it and let's dive right in. So, Bubble family, welcome, welcome, welcome. So as you know, over the years, we have looked at various ways that Harry and Meghan have jumped on various bandwagons to promote themselves. And what I find interesting is is that these are two people that, you know, from what we've seen in the media, didn't want to be part of the working royals. I have my theory on this. Now, I know that, again, this is my personal opinion in what I know in regards to the fact that we've spoken about that I believe Meghan has narcissism. And like I say, I am going to be doing various videos on things. And if you haven't seen them, I have done videos on Meghan and narcissism and kind of why I feel that she has this. But in keeping with the spirit of this, I don't believe, now I need to get this right, I don't believe they wanted to leave. And I know that many of you are going to be like, yeah, they did. You know, so let me explain. Because this is why I think they jump on various bandwagons. I don't think they wanted the control that the royal family... The royal family? Where is that even? What? That's not even a word. I'm literally making up my own language now. The royal family? Royal family? I don't think they wanted the control. So when I believe that when Meghan got into the royal family, I think she had it in her head of what it was going to be like. I do think that she thought it was going to be a bit like being like a Disney princess. She thought it was going to open doors for her. And I do think the biggest door was going to be Hollywood. I absolutely 100%, well, 99.9% believe that she thought by marrying Harry or getting into the royal family that it was going to open all of these doors for her. So this was, I think, the ultimate plan. It was to kind of get in there. It was, you know, she's got, you know, we all know that narcissists have this huge ego. So I think she wanted to kind of rule the world. You know, I think there is even a statement that she kind of made to somebody that she wanted to be the most famous woman in the world. Well, I'd say that she's kind of achieved that, but almost in infamy. She's the most infamous woman in the world. So I think this was the aim. She wanted to get in. She wanted to have these doors open for her. I think she truly believed that Hollywood was going to kind of be like, da-da, you can have your pick and choosing of all these roles, you know. And I don't think she realised actually the hard work that actually is involved in being part of the royal family. It's actually very controlled. You know, their diaries are worked out, you know, well in advance. It's really kind of quite tedious, quite boring at times. You know, yes, you get the side of it where you get to go to these grand openings, these banquets, these dinners, and you're wearing all these amazing clothes and the tiaras and all, you know, of course you get all of that. But alongside of that, your life is pretty controlled to a point. You know, there are certain things you can and cannot do, you know. And for someone like Meghan, who obviously is the way she is, that level of control would be terrible for someone like her. She's used to doing the controlling, not having her life controlled. So this is where I'm guessing that, you know, you'd think that these conversations would have happened with Harry, you know, with other people. And people have said, you know, oh, Harry should have pre-warned her. He should have said this. He should have done that. Oh, I believe he did. I believe there were many conversations where people would have said to her, whether it be William, whether it be Catherine, whether it be the Queen, whether it be the advisors, people would have said to her, you know, look, this is not going to be what you might think it's going to be. You know, you're going to have to do this, that, and, you know, X, Y, Z. You can't do this, you can't do that. And someone like Meghan, probably to their face, was kind of like, oh, yeah, no, I know. And I appreciate that, yeah. But behind closed doors, she's like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to come in and I'm going to change the monarchy. I'm going to do this, that, you know, we're going to modernize it. We're going to be doing this, you know, I'm going to be having everything I want, you know, but quickly realizing that actually the Queen is a very, very astute woman. The fact that not everyone is going to be kind of bowled over by her. And I think William was the biggest one. I think she believed that she was going to go in and she was going to charm everybody. And I think initially she probably did. But I think William would have been probably the first one to start seeing through her, and then probably Catherine, which was why they then become target enemy number one. I think Charles was probably bowled over by her. I think Camilla would have seen through her. And so they would have been the people that she would have ostracized. She would have tried to maneuver away from, you know, this is why I think Charles probably walked her down the aisle and stuff like that, because I think he probably really kind of wanted to make it work with her. Obviously, we know Harry was bowled over by her for the wrong reasons. And I do think there was trouble in paradise before even the wedding. And I will, like I say, do a video on that. So I think, you know, she's come in with this attitude of, you know, I'm going to do all of these things and I'm going to have all these doors open for me, and slowly realizing actually that it's not all it's cracked up to be. So then I think she started then throwing her toys out of the pram. The diva behavior started to show up. And then as soon as she didn't get her own way, as soon as she started to realize there were actually things being put in place that she couldn't do, she then, I believe, decided, actually, I'm not liking this. You know, I'm not kind of liking this being controlled by these people, you know, being told what I can and cannot do, where I can go, where I can't go, in a sense. And I'm not saying that her whole life was, oh, you can't go here or there or whatever, but I think certain things would have been like, you know, look, if you go there, you've got to have security. If you do this, you've got to have that. You know, so to a degree, it's, you know, it's not this free-for-all, this freedom that she would have had prior to this. I think it was a huge wake-up call for her when she got into the royal family. And a lot of that was down to her own arrogance, this whole concept of, I never Googled Harry. I didn't know anything about him, but I had books on Diana, you know, and I idolized Diana. I mirrored myself against Diana, but I didn't know who his children were. Oh, please. You know, so we know this is all kind of BS. And I do believe that her beeline would have been getting with Harry. I don't think she was in love with him. I don't even particularly think he was in love with her. I think he was bowled over with her sexually. I think she just saw it as a meal ticket. And then I think it was kind of like, oh, you know, I'm going to kind of flatter William and I'm going to kind of maneuver, because this is kind of the behavior, you know. Obviously we don't know this for sure, but I'm kind of guessing this is kind of, she possibly didn't realize how close William and Catherine were. So she probably thought she could kind of infiltrate and get in there. And this is why I believe, and this is just a theory, that the Rose Hanbury affair thing come about, because I have a feeling, I wonder if Harry was the one being unfaithful. So to deflect, which is classic narcissism, deflect. You know, point the fingers elsewhere, what's going on over there, because you don't see what's going on over here. You know, and I wonder if there was an element of that where Harry wasn't being particularly faithful to her. So you have this going on, and of course then they're married, and I think this is when she gets her feet under the table and she realizes, actually, I don't want to do this. I want the best of both worlds. I want to be able to do what I kind of do. I want Hollywood to open its doors for me, but I still want to kind of get all the trappings of what entails with the royal family, but I don't want to do the work. Well, of course, the Queen has kind of then gone, well, no. You're either going to go over there and you can have that. You can go over there and you can go and be a Hollywood star, but you're not, you know, you're not half in, half out. You know, you can't have it both ways. You can't utilize the royal brand and, you know, but go over there and have that, you know, and then just do these things when it suits you. So I think that was squashed. And of course, that was the moment that I think she just went, well, if I can't have what I want, I'm going to create. And so these stories then started to come out about, I think, you know, this her diva behavior, you know, things started to get leaked. The tables started to turn, because if you think in the beginning, everyone really liked her. We didn't really know her, but we kind of were like, this is really refreshing. This is like a really big thing. You know, the media was very positive about her. But I think as soon as she started to not like it, when she started to realize, actually, I'm not in control of everything here, I can't get everything I want, I think she started to kind of go, yeah. And I think then plan B started to happen. I absolutely believe she wanted to have everything. She wanted to do the whole royal thing when it suited her, when she was going to banquets and dinners and openings of these things, and having, you know, like say getting all these A-listers and being high up there with society, and, you know, all the doors that were slammed to her in the beginning when she was basically a cable actress, you know, a mature actress, and these doors were being slammed to her. Suddenly they were like, oh, they're going to be open, but they didn't. So I think, and of course then also what happened, I think as well, was obviously the pandemic happened, you know, not long after this decision too. Then things were not going to plan. So I think that the Queen said, no, you're not half in, half out. You're either out or you're in. You know, if you want to go and do Hollywood, absolutely. If you want a small wedding and go over there, absolutely. But she's like, no, I want it all. I want everything. Because it's all about greed. It's all about, you know, what I can get. You know, I want everything. I want everything, you know. I don't want these half measures, you know, I want it all. But she come up against the Queen, and of course the Queen's like, no. So then she started then putting in this kind of, oh, the family are racist, you know, I'm being controlled. You know, these little kind of feelers were starting to kind of come out in the press. And that was around the time, you know, if you look, you know, really, if you trace it back, when the Sussex squad really started to materialise, really this going on, the attack against the royal family. And I think this was all part of the plan. You know, I think then it become, okay, well, we have no choice but to leave. But they made it seem like, and I have a theory on Archie around this time. So obviously, again, I will do a thing on this. But I think this is why the pregnancy alleged happened. And I think then a plan was put in place and they had to go. Because if you look at her behaviour, the way they've jumped on all of these bandwagons, they kind of pretended to be royal in the States. They've kind of done the things that the royal family kind of do here. The only difference being is here the royal family do it on a charitable basis. You know, they don't get paid for, you know, going to these openings. Okay, yes, in a way they kind of do, but they still highlight these things and they do these things. They don't do it for their own gain. They do it because they really do believe in the causes they're highlighting. Whereas Harry and Meghan, they do it for their own gain. I mean, you know, you've got to think that every single thing they've jumped on, you know, whether it be like when that young lady, I think, was attacked in her car, Meghan jumped on that. And then apparently then it started to turn out that this was false, that actually she'd orchestrated something and this wasn't actually true. But there was no retraction, no nothing from Meghan. BLM. Bandwagon jumped on the whole school thing when she was doing where she infiltrated herself at her old school and did her, you know, her ridiculous kind of, you know, Mother Teresa style speech, interjected herself. They didn't ask her, but she did it. Everything has been to, you know, kind of behave like royals, because, you know, you don't really see celebrities, you know, you know, according to them, they wanted out. They didn't want anything to do with being a working royal anymore. They wanted privacy, but they've done everything opposite to what they've said. You know, these are two people that could have gone over there and they could have lived their private life, because I'm not being funny, there are plenty of celebrities where you don't really see their children, you don't really see them. They live a very quiet life, apart from when you may see them go to an opening of their film or something like that. And other than that, you never see them. They could have quite easily done that, but they didn't. So these are not two people that have wanted to go away quietly. They didn't want privacy. They wanted to control what was seen and read about in the media. Basically, she didn't want all the negative stuff coming out about her. Neither did Harry. You know, they wanted all this positive PR. They don't want the negative stuff. They want to be seen in a positive light, which is what we've seen from Amber Heard. And this is what narcissists do. They only want, their ego is so huge, they want everyone to believe what they believe about themselves. That's why they're quite happy to compulsively lie, and they don't care. They don't care who they tread on to get what they want. You know, you don't mean anything. Harry won't mean anything to her. You know, he's a meal ticket. And I hate to say that because it sounds awful, it sounds cold, but it's true. And this is why, and again, I will do a more thorough video on the children. This is why I don't believe the children are either biologically hers or they are with them. Because as a narcissist, you're going to go one of two ways. Your children are either going to be belittled and bullied and really made to feel like you're nothing, or they're going to live their life vicariously through you. You're going to be put on that pedestal. You're going to be pushed. You know, when you see these like these mums that really push their kids, and the dance mums or something along those lines, you know, whether that child wants it or not, they're going to be pushed to everything, every opening, everything. Your child would be going to it, and that's exactly what they would have been doing. Lily, if she was with Meghan, would have been merged. She is the perfect child, as in a way the kind of, you know, the granddaughter of Diana. To, you know, there would be clothing lines, there would be photo opportunities. Now people have said, oh, you know, she's merching, you know, for the perfect opportunity, for the biggest payout. Well, I don't think there is a biggest payout. I don't think people are interested, because to be honest, the perfect one would have been at that window when she was shushing the children and the other children were there, where she would have stood there with Lily at the window, or Archie. That would have been the money shot. You know, or even if it was controlled, again, setting up a photo shoot in Hello magazine or something like that with her and Harry, you know, for Lily's first birthday. Money shot. Didn't happen. In fact, we didn't see a picture of Harry with the children at all over Father's Day. Funny that. She's happy to merch other people's children. She's happy to put a picture of her at the window with, you know, with the Tyndall's children. But goodness, you know, we can't merch her own children. This is not in line with a narcissist. A narcissist would have absolutely, and maybe not so much Archie, because Archie is now probably the child that they don't want to merch, you know, but they would have done in the beginning. Everything would have been about him. Clothing line, toys, food, you name it, they would have merched it. Even if, but the difference being is when you have to merch the child, you need photographs of the child. If there isn't really a child with them, then you can't really do that. Or if the child's mother is involved, the real mother, you can't do that, because you have to get the mother's say so. You know, let's not forget, this is someone who put herself as litigation friend for Archie. Why would you do that if you're the child's mother? You know, so this is why I think they are jumping on every single bandwagon. Of course, the latest one being Ukraine. You know, they've already done the veterans, which we've spoken about on the lives of Trev. You know, and of course now they're jumping on Ukraine. They don't care. They're just doing it to act as if they care. We are humanitarians. If you were humanitarians, you wouldn't just jump on the most global thing that you need to. You'd be doing what the royal family do. You would be going to these little companies, the things that really need your support. I mean, I'm not saying the Ukraine doesn't, but, you know, but there are other things going on there that you know, in your big, massive mansion. Well, you know what? Let's cordon some of that off and have some of those families come over, help them out, you know. But of course we know they won't do that because there's no money in it. You know, when that shooting happened, not Uvalde, which she merged for, you know, which absolutely disgusting. She merged that, and apparently now she's potentially contacted some of the parents. Well, of course we know why she's done that, because they searched social media, and of course what come out when she did the Uvalde thing of how disgusting that was. Well, she didn't speak to any of the parents. She didn't take time out to speak to any of the parents. Oh, but suddenly now she's speaking to the parents because they watch social media. They look to see what's going on. You know, this is why I think they released the which I believe is the fake photograph of Lily, because Louis was getting all the attention. They're not stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. They monitor the social media. They see what's happening and they do everything to draw the attention back to them. Which is why, if you look at it, this is not the actions of two people that desperately wanted to leave the royal family. I don't think they ever did. I think they just wanted it all. They wanted to control it. They wanted to merch their brand. And I think the Queen shut it down. And I think the fact that they've been fought every step of the way by William, which is why I think they consistently, their camp brings out the affair. They've tried everything to try and damage Catherine and William. It's not worked. That's why the fan base attack anyone that goes against, like Zelensky. Apparently, even though he's fighting for his country and survival, you know, he thanked Catherine and William, but because he didn't thank them in that given moment. Of course, the Sussex squad hyenas. No, I'm not going to say, because apparently I you know, hyenas are lovely, so I do apologise for that. the Suck It squad, let's say that, Suck It squad, attacked Zelensky because he thanked, you know, this is their mentality. This is their fan base. When you look at the William and Catherine's fan base, they're actually quite a loving fan base for the most part. But their fan base is rabid. And that really says a lot about the people that you're idolizing. You know, if you are a good person, you tend to have a good fan base. I should know because I have the lovely Bubble family. Look at my fan base. Amazing, lovely, because I class myself as a lovely person and a kind person. So your fan base is relative to that. I'm not saying in every case, but for most part, you know. So this is my theory on the Bandwagon. I think they are desperate to still be part of the royal family, but they want to do it in a controlled way that they get the money, they get the recognition. It's not a, you know, everyone gets that recognition. They get it. They must have it, all the attention on them. And that's why they consistently watch what Catherine and William do. They then carbon copy, you know, and it's the same thing. Catherine went and did the, when she went to that lady's, that situation happened with that police officer, she went, not with a camera crew, not with anything, and the fact that only person that really, people that knew she was there was because someone saw her and took photographs, you know, a bystander, but no one else knew. But interestingly, she's wearing a baseball cap, you know, very dressed down. What does Meghan do? Same type of thing. But she has to take a camera crew with her bodyguards with her, because she's so super important, even though nobody knew who she was. And nobody really cares, you know. But she has to be seen as important. You know, like I said, Matthew McConaughey didn't even do it until later on. And then, you know, he did it very respectfully. Meghan Markle isn't anybody. She's not attached to anything. You know, she just cares about the image it portrays. But the unfortunate thing is now everybody sees through her, sees through them. So now when they do something, it's not sincere. It is not met with, oh, how lovely. It's not, you know. So this is why, like I say, I believe this is why they jump on the bandwagons they do, is because they are so desperate to hang on to that royal side of them, because that is their bread and butter. That is all they have. Every other door is shut to them. And I think even Netflix is pretty much dwindling, probably sick of them, to be fair. And they should have done their research before signing them, you know, but I guess back then they were a little bit more kind of bankable than what they are now. And Netflix are now fast realizing that they've paid all this money out for damaged goods, which is kind of what they are. So as always, let me know in the thoughts what you think, guys. You know, do you feel the same? Do you feel that, you know, does your opinion kind of match with mine? Do you feel that, you know, these actions are not the actions of two people that wanted to leave the royal family? Initially, I think they didn't want to be controlled. I think they wanted the best of both worlds. And I do believe that as soon as that got shot down, then she maneuvered the PR and everything else to really then portray the royal family in a very, very bad light. And of course, then their initial thing was then to do the Oprah interview, which was again, hopefully bringing the victim status back to them of how it was poor me and how the big bad royal family was so terrible. And it backfired again, like everything else they do, you know. So yeah, let me know what you think. As always, thank you to everyone who's bought me a cup of tea. Thank you to everyone who is supporting the channel. We are growing as a Bubble community, and thank you for always being so respectful in the comments too, not just to me, but to each other, because that is what we are doing here. We are building a community where we can come in here and we can talk about differing opinions, and we can have that debate and that discussion so we can learn and grow with each other. So thank you for being part of this wonderful Bubble family. I will see you tomorrow, as always, guys. And don't forget, my live with Trev will be on Friday at 7 p.m. UK time. And I will see you then. Love you all. Mwah. Bye.